So, are you a target? These are some older articles. The IRS is always saying, hey, here's what's going on. Small businesses are targeted, tax prep firms are targeted, et cetera, et cetera. And you're like, but, I'm small. I have 3 people and I only do like 200 returns a year. That is 203 identities that I can use for a whole bunch of bad stuff. So, yeah, you are a target. And just to show you, Monday I did a quick search on what were the biggest breaches in the last 30 days. And so you've probably heard about Google and the Salesforce issue, and then TransUnion. So these guys have a lot of people doing security, and they still get compromised in a variety of ways. And I will tell you the ways when it comes out how these guys get compromised is going to be more than likely phishing or misconfiguration and not patching. One of those two is going to be the cause of these. It almost 95% of the time, that's what it is. And so that's why I preach, if we go back 2 slides, patching systems and software, Equifax, when they got hit, that was exactly why they'd let something hang on for months and months and months. And so why does all this matter? Not to scare you. I hope you got some good learning and some good ideas and motivation out of the first part. But why does this matter? Because if you don't do anything, here's all the data that can get compromised, right? And this is just a tiny subset. But think about what you have on your machine at work, or what you have on your desktop or laptop at home, what you have on your phone or your tablet. If you have any of this data, you need to protect it. And then when you have all this data for yourself, and all this data to a degree for 500 clients. Maybe you've been in business for 15 years and you have, 10,000 unique people's information stored in a variety of databases, paper forms, what have you. You're a data steward for basically that person's identity, digital and not physical, but paper. And so what we're trying to do here is let you understand there are things you can do if you're not doing them now that up level the protection you're providing, not only for your own data, but your client's data. So you can see here, basically any and everything. They really like to obviously drop ransomware. What we've seen in the tax pro world right now is last year it was what we call daisy chain, where they would compromise firm A, then they would compromise firm B. They would take the returns they got from firm A, put them into firm B and file them through firm B. Go to firm C, just repeat that cycle. This year, because there's been some controls that can alert and prevent that, they're just staying in the original firm. So they compromise the firm, they do what they're going to do, they send all the filings out. Sometimes they'll drop ransomware, but they'll definitely keep a copy of all the data, right? And so they're going to use that data in a variety of ways. So what do they do? So I talked about, obviously, the topic at hand is tax. And so they're going to commit tax fraud. But we've given them names, address, social security numbers, phone numbers, employment, EINs, any and everything else. So they're going to, they're going to apply for credit. Why not? That's how we found out my wife's identity got stolen, was we got a rejection letter from, I don't think they're in business anymore, not Staples, but the other one, Office Depot. That they couldn't validate her identity, and so that led to a long chain. They're gonna use all the credentials they've gleaned from your system, all the identities they've used from your system. They're also going to sell that data on the dark web because it's known good. Like, this is Chris's identity, this is Ross's identity, and it's legit. There's no fakery. It's going to pass every test. So they're going to continue to propagate this, amongst the other people in their community, as well as propagate the problem for that person, as I can attest to with my wife, for years to come. And so that's why it's really, I feel, important to understand the obligations we have when we're dealing with this type of data. And right here's a really quick example of how it happens. They compromise your email or your local device through, I'm going to say through phishing, right? So they get into your email through a phish. So they're going to look in your email. They're going to see all the sites that you interact with, that you log into. You know, you get all those reminder emails and all those other emails from every site you do business with. So they're going to go to that site and select forgot my password, because that password reset is going to come as an email. They're going to do that, reset the password. They're going to delete the reset email and the confirmation email. They've already done what they're going to do in your account, and they're going to leave and go away. And then they're going to go ahead and sell that account because they have the username and password. Now, it was good at the time. It's probably not going to be good by the time they sell it, but that is what they're going to do. And that happens incredibly fast, and you're left with the cleanup. And so on the right here, you can see a breach can happen in seconds. Literally can happen in seconds. I think the fastest that I saw from a report this year of from the time of the breach to the time of all the data being egress was 53 seconds. So the breach happens in mere seconds, but the data can go just as quick. So all these different things happen and can happen when you get compromised. So they're going to install keyloggers. They're going to put in a backdoor into your system. They're going to do any data transfer they can, right? And we just talked about that. We've been talking about that. But they're going to do this to use your machine, as I spoke about. This year's common pattern is to use your machine to do the fraud. And the reason they do that is your machine is a known good machine to like Intuit. And so when we see your known good machine with your username and password, and you're passing every check, come in and start filing tax returns, which you do, it looks pretty normal. And so that makes it another level of difficulty for us to, in our monitoring, see that those are fraudulent filings. And so that's something that we're partnering with people to try and figure out if there's a way to do that. But they're also going to use your network to attack other networks. They're going to now hack from your machines. They're going to go through your web browsers, find all your saved passwords. But if they don't, they're still going to do what I said in the email and just reset it for you. And then they're going to send phishing from you, right? Again, known everything.